Yo, what's up? I'm just gonna take a minute and kind of show you what I'm up to here lately. Drag one of my old projects back out. I'm gonna finish this thing up. I've been sitting on this thing for probably, sheesh man, probably 4 or 5 years I guess now, and haven't finished it. So I'm just gonna give you a quick run through of where I'm at. It's just a mini chopper done my way. Something to kick around the pits with. Um, when I designed this thing, I didn't want to be all bound up like I was on a little tiny crotch rocket or something. I wanted to kind of feel comfortable and do its thing and have some cool tricks about it. It's different than everything else that's out there. Like I said, designed it probably 5 years ago. Haven't really fooled with it since. Had other projects going on, or whatever. And it's just been sitting and kind of getting dirty and gathering a little bit of rust and whatnot. So I busted it out. I'm gonna finish it. I'm going to bring you up to date on where I'm at and what I'm doing, and then what I'm going to try to do is post stuff as I finish it for you guys. Nothing else, just try to kind of stimulate some creativity for some of you guys out there that might be interested in doing something like this. So I'm going to try to run through this thing basically back to front, front to back, something. Originally when I designed this, like I said, I didn't want to be bound up on something. So I actually kind of laid out where I wanted to be sitting, where I wanted my hands to be, where I wanted my feet to be, where it'd all be comfortable, kind of laid it out real size, and then designed a motorcycle based on those positions that kind of looked to scale. You know, I didn't want it to kind of look weird or whatnot. The bike's got a pretty good look to it. You know, you can tell it's kind of missing something up on the handlebar side. I think once I put some kind of headlight up there, it'll kind of finish that up and finish the seat up and whatnot. And the handlebars I've got on there right now are just basically mocked up, just something, nothing I would use. Kind of did the tank. Just I didn't want to do any serious bending. Don't have all the fabrication tools that a lot of the tank builders use on the big motorcycles. So just used flat steel and just did simple curves, right? And then just made them come to a point and kind of had it fit the bike too. So let's run through this thing. So on the back, what I did originally was I went and got a turf tire from my local TriStar import type place. It's just a turf tire. It's got a 4-lug, bought a hub in there. It's got a 1-inch axle. The axle portion of it is just go-kart stuff, go-kart bearings, flanges to hold the bearings. Got the disc brake. It's a go-kart disc brake, and it's all hydraulic set up there. So it's pretty simple. Just an axle. I wanted to come out here and cutting this off once I get all the fabrication done. 1-inch hub. Got some collars to hold it centered where I want it to be, and then it just bolts up. And you can kind of see on the other side. Just bolts up. Got 4 bolts in there. Thing I like about that tire is it's kind of wide. It's got that round look to it. Looking down the bike, it's got that kind of, sexy look to it. Thing it's nice too is it's like I said, it's round. It's not flat, so it should ride pretty good. And then it's got that, not a crazy knobby look to it. Same thing on this side. Got the sprocket here with a 2-piece gear, and then that way I can change the ratio based on what I need after I get this thing going. 1-inch setup. Something on the other side, and then the tubing wasn't too bad. I just kind of did it in sections. Got the bottom tube here, just did a round bend, connected the top tube, got those widths set up. It's not really a seat pan, just kind of put something in there to hold the fender. Not really sure exactly what I'm gonna do yet. May just put a pad on there. May do some kind of little seat pan or something. Not really sure what I'm gonna do about the rear fender either. I may leave it just like it is. I kind of like it. Once it gets painted, it may be okay. The rest of this stuff is kind of just sitting. I'm gonna kind of show you what I've done. So standard Briggs motor, 5-horse Briggs motor, nothing fancy, just your regular old run-of-the-mill yard Briggs motor that you'd use on a standard go-kart or whatnot. And then what I did is when I got to looking at this thing, I just didn't want the standard centrifugal clutch, right? So I wanted something cool, you know, roll up, got something different that ain't nobody's seen before. And so I came up with this idea to do a live primary, you know, like your traditional Harleys and whatnot, your choppers. So what I did was I actually had somebody machine me some bushings to go around the crankshaft. It's got a bushing, and then I'm using sprockets. They're timing chain sprockets off of your standard Chevrolet 350 engine double roller timing chain. Okay, and then these just slide right over these bushings that are made. I'm actually missing one sprocket. That's what this is in here for. But you can kind of see on the back side how this works. So it's a dual sprocket setup with a dual timing chain setup, and once these are done, they'll be flush. Okay, and it's going to be full-on live primary, and this shaft will be removed. You know, it'll be cut off here once I get all this fit and set. So once the engine's running, even if the bike's not moving, you're going to have a live primary that's just rolling out here, and may end up putting some kind of aluminum cover. You know, I'm sure I'll doll it up somehow. So anyway, you just get a bitchin' look at it, right? Coming down the front, you got this live chain drive primary, and so in order to make that happen, you couldn't put the clutch and stuff out here. So basically, I actually found this kit that is a dual centrifugal clutch setup with 2 different gear ratios in there. And basically what it does is it is an automatic transmission. So it starts off in one gear, and then as the RPMs go up, the other centrifugal clutch kind of grabs and takes over and changes it into a higher gear. Worked out good for me. It almost worked kind of like a jack shaft. So I have a live primary here, and then as I start giving it some gas, the first centrifugal clutch engages, rolls back here, turns this gear, which turns the rear tire. As it speeds up, the weights in the second clutch expand, grab a hold, it changes the ratio, and then right, second gear. I like it because it kind of looks like a tranny, and that was kind of how I designed it. I just took some angle brackets, mounted the bearings, and then just put some stainless tubes in between, and then bolted it together. So technically I could unbolt it and modify any part of the tranny that I might break, or if I have a chain problem or whatever. And then what I'll do is this thing will actually just bolt down to the frame like a standard tranny would. And so, you know, basically this rear chain here, I'll just slide that forward to tension it, bolt it down, then slide my primary gears on, slide the engine forward until I tension that, and then bolt it down, and it'll be ready to go. Kind of have that meat grinder effect, right? You don't want to get your leg or finger caught in that joker, that's for sure. Back here on the back, so this is just the original exhaust pipe. I'll probably change it and it'll come down and do something maybe. Standard carburetor, standard air filter up top. This was the old tank. I basically cut the bottom off it because the tank used to hang down about right here. It was all in the tranny, so kind of up in the air on what I'm gonna do with that. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna refabricate a new tank that kind of fits right in there. I actually like the idea of having the tank sit right there. Kind of gives the whole engine compartment some girth, where it's not just a big open space, plus easy to fill. And this is the air breather there. So not really sure what I'm gonna do there yet. I'm sure I'll figure something out in the next video. Alright, then you got your standard Briggs pull start. I actually looked at doing some kind of electric start. Hadn't really knocked it out yet as far as the idea goes. Just hadn't figured out how I'd do it. I really actually would like to kind of fill up this area in here and just make it look like a full-on engine compartment. You know, if I could put a starter and a battery and a starter switch and all that good stuff, I think it'd fill it up and make it look finished. So that's the motor section. It's pretty simple. It looks like a lot's going on, but other than just got the whole tranny assembly here and the engine assembly, it's pretty simple. Like I said, the back brakes are rear disc hydraulic. It'll have lines that come out of here and run down up to the front, and then right here I've got master cylinder. I'm not really sure yet. Probably mount it somewhere. I think I want all foot controls, the gas and the brake on this thing, just to kind of clean up the handlebars on it. I don't want any cables and that sort of thing up top. So what I'm thinking about doing is up front, I've got to put some foot pegs on here. And so we'll probably mount them something like this on both sides. There's the other one. Shorten them up just a little bit, and then they actually put some foot controls on it, and that'll run the hydraulic brake setup. As far as the frame rail goes, I originally just did a backbone on it. You can kind of see where I just heated it with a torch and bent it around a piece of plywood that I had shaped the way I wanted it. So bent that around, and I kind of wanted that long backbone straight up to the front neck, and then just bent this here with a standard chassis bender. Alright. I'll give you some looks on all that stuff. I got it strapped to the table now just so it don't fall off. Like I said, just sheet metal. It's actually, if you look in the front, it's not even an actual tank. I just did it in two sides and then just welded it. And then I'll go in here and body fill all this where you won't be able to see it. Like I said, handlebars are just something generic right now to kind of get me by. I basically stole this whole front section right here off of a bicycle. I think it was a little girl's bicycle, as a matter of fact. Got some purple there. But just, this was the main pieces I wanted in the bearings, and then I just kind of put it all together. Don't know if I'll cut this up or not and do something different. I actually think it won't look too bad once I get the headlight and stuff out here. Used the front forks off the bicycle also. And then what I did was, you'll see the lower section of the fork here goes up, and then about right here it's got a notch. Well, that used to connect to right there. So I just basically took the front fork off the bicycle, cut it in half, put some tubes in there, lengthened it to the length that I needed it. Works good. Just got me a front tire off an old bicycle. I like the white, it kind of matches the back. I don't know if we'll leave it. May do the bike, end up doing it a gray to match the car. So if I do that, the white and the gray may not look too bad. And then just made my own axle up front with spacers, and it's got nuts on either side. And actually, this nut, I actually just took a threaded rod and then welded this side to the threaded rod, and this side is not. I'm trying to think what else. That's pretty much it for now. Like I said, kind of looks a little busy, but once you break it down, it's really, really simple, and that's kind of the way I like things. I'm more of a simplist. I just like to be able to see some engineering and mechanical. I like to be able to see the mechanical parts and how it functions, but not a bunch of cables and wires and twist grips and all that mini bike stuff that you would see up here. And so I'll probably just clean all this up, make it real simple, actually put maybe some kind of something on there grip wise, but you won't have no brake lines, and that's the idea, at least right now. So anyway, subscribe definitely, as I tell everybody. Give me a subscription. That way you can catch this build as I finish it out. It should be a cool little hot rod. I wish it was on a floor. I'd actually sit on it and let you see how it looks. It definitely fits a grown man, and you don't look like a, it doesn't look funny riding around. It's gonna be straight up cool. So definitely subscribe. I'm actually gonna put a link on the fab forms under our resource. We have a buying resource portion of the fab forms. I'll put a link on there of where you can buy all of these components. you know, the clutches and the gears and the plates and the brakes and the sprockets and everything you would need to put this together, except for doing the tube fabrication and maybe the rear and the front tire. But all the go-kart parts will be in our, I'll put a link up on in our buyer's resource section. And so if you know something you want to take on, a little pit chopper, cruise around the pits with, you can do that. Another reason to subscribe is as soon as I get done with this project, I'm going to start on this other project that I drug out. I've been waiting 5 or 6 years to finish. Twin turbo Mustang ride. I've actually already got a couple pictures on the fab forums of this thing. Back when I had it, the fabrication was a lot further. I've actually took it back apart to clean up some sections. But I'm going to jump back on that too. So subscribe, and any feedback, if you got any questions, you can get me on the fab forums, or just shoot me a message right here on YouTube. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have. You know, I can send you in the right direction as far as finding stuff. Just let me know.